Welcome to video 2, Breaches by Urban Forex. Now, breaches are the things that cause a territory to begin. So for example, when you have a hold that's long enough, like this, and then the market moves down from it, this is what we call a breach. Okay? This hold that was holding the market, remember, to hold the market, it requires a lot of money. That means the buyers and sellers are battling at equal power until one power is so overwhelming that it can move the markets further and further and further away. That to us is a breach. Now, you want to avoid calling any of this stuff a breach. That's not a breach there. Okay, this right here is too small of a hold. That's not a breach there. You always want to find a meaty size hold or bigger before you can count something as a breach. Okay, these are just little hiccups into the market. Again, little tiny hiccup here, keeps going down, and then it holds nicely. So once it holds from there to there, you have now one full seller's territory. Okay, and that tells you everything within this going forward is going to be seller's market until otherwise. Okay, so these are all for selling and for selling and for selling. Okay, notice how the sells are a lot much more smoother than the buys were until the buys started coming up through here and the territories were breached. Okay, remember the one from the last video where I drew it like this big chunk here, or this little one in here? Okay, we officially breached this territory because we also took out that guy at the same time. So it was originally a seller's territory that failed to perform, and then it became buyer's territory. However, we're not looking for a movement to get in and then take it down all the way until we reach hell. Okay, we're not trying to do that. We're trying to take it down where we can get in safely and where we can ride safely and then where we can get out safely. That's the whole point, is safely, safely, safely. Okay? Anything outside of that is going to become a risk. You don't want to play odds. You want to play the chances of your trade should perform. If you're playing odds, you're basically an investor, not a trader. A trader will need to adjust movement by movement, rather than, well, I put in my trade, I put in my stop loss, I put in my take profit, now let me cross my fingers and saying, let's see what happens. Whichever one touches, then I take action. No, that's not a trader's job. That's the silliest thing you'll ever hear, okay? You want to be sure as a trader you're understanding the flow and you're reading what the markets are trying to tell you. Let's take a look at some more examples. Okay, let's go further down. Okay, so here we also have a hold into the market. Okay, you can draw the hold like this and count that as just a spike, or you can count this as a hold like this way. That's also fine. Okay, a hold basically means you're having trouble making higher highs and you're having trouble making lower lows. Okay, a range has that function. It's unable to make a higher high up here, and it's unable to make a lower low, which is down here. That tells you the markets are holding. So same with this type of design, is it's unable to make a higher high up there and unable to make a lower low down here. The markets are holding. These things basically tell you there's a buildup happening. There's a buildup happening. Okay? So in this particular case, this buildup is long enough. Again, I'm not making you focus on the time frame. Forget the time frame. Whichever chart you look at, you want to have a decent size hold. Okay? You want to have a decent size hold. And as that breaks, you say, that is now my breach area. Notice how the markets slam down from here. Now the breaches, we generally say, where's the high of my breach? We can say the high of my breach is just around here because there is the guy who started the movement. Okay? It's not this guy, because this guy came down and started struggling. It's the guy closest to the guy right here who started the movement that started dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. Okay? So we generally say our breach line is more or less here, and that's our guy who started it. Okay? So this tells you the seller's territory have begun. Okay? And as the seller's territory goes down, this is nothing. That's not a breach. This is not a hold and a breach either. But here we start holding up. So there we have it. We now have seller's territory from this area to this area, which means as long as we're contained within that, everything is for selling. Okay? Until we don't take out the guy who started it, everything is still for selling. So all of this is to prepare for sells, all of this is to prepare for sells, all of this is to prepare for sells, but never turning to the buy side unless we get above this area. Okay? I hope this is making sense. All right, now let's move on to the next video.